All right, we're back. Welcome back to the throne room. Josh, I missed you today.
I missed you
this
too.
week. I missed you this week. What the heck? All right. I'm Alex King. Josh Pink.
Back again.
Back again. Your boys.
Little sad day.
Listen, folks. Well, I want to get the sad stuff out of the way because this is literally so fresh. This happened within the hour.
We were supposed to record last night.
Yeah.
And we didn't.
We didn't record last night, and we went to the rec. We worked out. It was a great workout. I'm sore as heck. By the way.
Me too.
So hit a little chest and try workout. I'm sore, but so we got in late, and then I had plans with Alex, and it was late, so we went bowling. But so I decided to move it back today. And literally within the hour of this being recorded, so it's Sunday, the 26th of January.
At 3:30.
Yeah, at 3:30. So within the hour, Kobe Bryant and his daughter died in a helicopter crash.
Yeah.
That's insane.
That's
he was
crazy.
41 years old.
I know.
Literally last week, he just got, listed by LeBron James as top 3 Los Angeles Lakers of all time.
Well, yeah, it would have to be.
Top 3 in scoring. That's ridiculous. Dude's a legend, so it's super fresh, and it's, prayers out to his family, because that's
crazy,
tough.
though. We wouldn't have been able to talk about this for a week.
No, I know. We really wouldn't have been able to talk about it for a week, and so, he's bound to have affected so many, people in the NBA right now that looked up to him when they were kids, and now they're playing, and
that's everyone's basketball, that's the standard. Everyone looks to him.
Yeah, it's him, LeBron, and Jordan. I mean, they're like the holy trinity of basketball.
Yeah. Even if you don't follow basketball, those 3 names. They went beyond just basketball.
Right, them, and so that's Mamba, bro, and so it's really insane. So Spurs and Raptors played this afternoon, right when the news broke, and the shot clock is 24 seconds.
Yeah.
Which is his number. And so the first 2 possessions of the game, they just let it go out. They didn't try to make a play. They just stood there and just bounced the ball and let the clock go out in honor of him.
Wow.
In San Antonio. Just showing respect for a guy that I'm sure all of those young players looked up to as a kid. So it's
they're still responding to it.
Oh, yeah.
It's just like when I was in my dorm 30 minutes ago, they're they still haven't found confirmed the body or anything.
Mm-hmm.
But
well, and we didn't know if her daughter was even on the plane.
Yeah, that was just recent news.
Yeah, literally that was maybe 10 minutes ago.
That got released.
So it's tragic. So thoughts and prayers out to them. But other than that, we got a long episode.
Yeah, and on top, that adds to it.
That adds to it. So we got a long episode. It's going to be a longer one, but we're going to get through it. We're going to try to be a little snappy.
A lot of sports this week. And, that's a good thing because we're going to roll through it. But before we get into that, I want to give a shout-out to Mr. Sutton Turner for giving a rating and a review on iTunes, on Apple Podcasts. So if you want to be shouted out on the show, go to Apple Podcasts, that little purple icon, or iTunes, and go give us 5 stars and write whatever. If you want to be real, like Mr. Turner did, and he gave us a great review, said he loved the show, do that. A lot of big, good words.
A lot of great words. Or if you just want to be silly and write your favorite ice cream flavor, it doesn't matter. It's just
favorite anime.
Yeah, I'm not. He's a weeb. I'm not. So, but hey, do your thing, live your life. Whatever you want to put on there, put on there. But that'd be great. So we'll shout you out if you go do it. Also, check out the Patreon at Patreon. There's great incentives there. We got a bonus episode that's coming out for our executive producers. Shout out to them. And as well, just go listen, go share with your friends. Go subscribe on YouTube, subscribe on Spotify, do all that great stuff. Follow the Instagram and Twitter, at the Throne Room. So go take care of that stuff, and I guess you have any other announcements that we got to say?
Let's get into it.
All right. Okay, so other than the very sad news of Mr. Kobe Bryant, just the absolute GOAT, Superbowl is coming up.
Yeah.
February 22nd.
Very different lineup than we're used to.
Yeah, Chiefs and 49ers. So we kind of all either expected the Patriots or the Chiefs to be in there for sure. At least I did. But 49ers were sort of like from the start to finish were a contender.
Yeah.
I mean, Jimmy Garoppolo is doing some things that are very good that we haven't seen, and former Patriot, learned under Tom Brady, and so he has that swagger behind him, and it'll be a great matchup. I'm picking the Chiefs. I don't know about you.
That's where I'm leaning to.
I'm taking the Chiefs in this one. I think Patrick Mahomes is going to be the difference. When a defense like the 49ers is good, you can't compete against. Look, Richard Sherman, I get it. You're a baller, man. You're a beast in that secondary, but Patrick Mahomes is something else that you probably haven't played before. And I think Jimmy G isn't as good as we think he is. He's just a decent quarterback with great weapons behind him, and which is great. I mean, you don't have to be Johnny Manziel of the NFL. To win a Super Bowl, you just have to have great weapons around you, great offensive line, great defense. I mean, so I'm taking the Chiefs. And another highlight of this game is George Kittle and Travis Kelce, top 2 tight ends in the nation right now, in all of football. George Kittle being on the 49ers and Travis Kelce with the Chiefs. I mean, these two guys are what a tight end is supposed to be. Not super big, ridiculously fast, very physical, strong, great hands. Not Aaron Hernandez, with no murders to their name. Completely clean slate as far as we know. But anyway, it's going to be a great game, I feel like. I think it's going to be very high-powered, not low-scoring at all. These offenses are ready to play.
I'm just excited to see, like, 2 different teams in the Super, because, like, past 5 years, it's been, like, the same rotation.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Patriots,
it's like a guaranteed Patriots versus who?
Yeah, pretty much.
But that's kind of why I fell out of love with like watching the NFL, because I was like, well, what's the point?
The last interesting game for me was it Ravens and when Ray Lewis played. I forgot, but the power went out. That was like my favorite Super Bowl just because it was chaos.
Do you know who the halftime show is supposed to be?
I don't know who the halftime show is supposed to be. There's been a lot of talks after the 40-second finish by Conor McGregor against Cowboy Cerrone.
Good fight if you haven't watched it. They have the clip up.
Yeah, which is amazing because we talked about how it was going to be like a brawl. It's going to go the distance.
I was hoping it would. Oh no, I think I said like I would be disappointed if one or the other got knocked out within the first round. And I mean,
that's what you got.
But he pulled that. That's a move that you just like almost can't train for because no one's really pulled like a shoulder attack before.
Yeah, and it was brutal. I mean, just how many 3, 4, 5 shoulders to the right to his face?
Yeah, it was 3 right to his face, and the third one is when Cerrone disconnected the grapple because you could tell like something was broken or something.
Oh yeah,
he busted his nose and his eye open.
Oh gosh, yeah. So 40 seconds in, I mean, McGregor takes him out. So. Was Khabib at the fight? He was at the fight, I think.
All of his rivals were there.
So he basically called out anybody who wants to fight him, and everyone's like, Khabib needs to fight this guy again.
Everyone was at the side of the ring.
There needs to be a rematch. I think McGregor, he has a lot of confidence now.
Yeah.
And he can go in and beat him this time.
And he definitely is a different person. Like I was expecting like this whole facade's gonna leak, but. Yeah. No, he came out and he was respectful at the end. He went up to his grandma. He was like,
I know.
He said, "You raised a hell of a man." I was like, talking to Grandma Cerrone.
Yeah, and Grandma Cerrone was giving him mad love too. Big hugs. He talked to Chad Ochocinco too.
Yeah.
And like,
he
I don't know
renamed him.
Yeah, I don't know what he gave like the Ireland.
Cuando Sedulis or something Gaelic.
Whatever 85 is.
Quoto Sedulis is what it was.
But no, so I think McGregor and Khabib should fight again.
It'd be a different fight than last time because last time it was a bit of a blood feud.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I think
he
has the same discipline.
For sure.
Goes into a different mindset.
Yeah. No, it'd be a great fight. So that's probably what's gonna happen.
I think they'll make it happen because that's what's gonna sell the most money is like his true redemption fight.
Well, even Dana White was like, this fight needs to happen.
Yeah.
Like this is the fight. Like so. But anyway. Another just insane bit of news, literally right after we finished talking about Aaron Hernandez and like crazy people in the NFL. Hey, and Odell last week too. We talked about how crazy Odell is. Hey, AB, what are we beating up people for, man? Listen, Antonio, like this is the dude that has like the worst NFL track record that I've seen in a long time.
Like at least Aaron Hernandez was good. Like not to like. Make him sound like, oh, well, he killed people, but he was a good football player. But, like, he had something else going for him besides his claim to fame being a murderer.
I know what you mean. And
Antonio Brown just beat some dude up. And
is all right.
Yeah, well, first of all, he's been accused of sexual assault. Whether or not that's been confirmed, they really didn't end the story on that, as far as I know. If they have, let us know and we'll correct it. But I'm pretty sure I never heard the end of that.
I haven't.
There was never really a clear answer to whether or not her claims were accurate. But all the drama when he was with the Patriots, all the drama when he was with the Steelers, the helmet stuff. I mean, this is a dude that is a crybaby, and you can't beat up a moving truck driver. And your agent was in on it was not his agent, it was his trainer.
Yeah,
his trainer was in on it. So he was arrested. He was arrested on the site, and there was cops, helicopters all around AB's house looking for him. They obviously put out a warrant for his arrest.
Yeah.
He's nowhere to be found. Days go by, and Monday or Tuesday, he turns himself in.
I know it's a smart move. But
it's a smart move for the long run, but this is because you saw the I don't want to say that these two are the same, but you've seen the what's his name? The guy with oh my gosh. I just lost his name.
Talking about the white Bronco?
White Bronco, yeah.
O.J.
What's his
Simpson.
name? O.J. Simpson. I was going to say Odell, but I knew that was him.
They had this because Aaron Hernandez did the same thing. They both just went to the highway.
I know. So it's so I'm very
that kind of would have been funny if he just took to the highway in a white vehicle, because Aaron Hernandez was in a white car too.
He was like a Land Rover or something, a Range Rover. So listen, what's going on here, pal? We got to have we need to have a healthy conversation about what's going on. And I almost think, because in the Netflix documentary they made it sound like CTE was the leading cause of this.
Yeah,
and I almost wonder.
There's a whole couple episodes about that. About, CTE being the reason that these people are violent.
Yeah.
Why OJ did it. Why Aaron did it.
And so young too. So it's you never know.
It's two sides though, because someone else was like, don't say this is about CTE.
Yeah. Yeah, because I'm sure so many players have it and they're not killing people and beating up moving truck drivers.
Everyone's all the D and O line are smacking heads.
Yeah.
Play.
For sure.
And you don't see any O linemen
beating up people.
Yeah.
I mean, I played football for 10 seasons and
I haven't killed anyone.
I probably have a little bit of CTE.
I have
at least a little bit. Yeah, and I haven't killed anybody that you know of.
Anyway. So I don't plan on quitting the show anytime soon.
Yeah.
If you don't see me on any episodes.
Yeah, just let the fans know that you're in it. Let's see what's next. Okay, Eli Manning, great career. He has a 500 record on his career, 117 and 117. So people were saying that was an amazing stat line. Look, it's really not.
He will forever be in the shadow of his brother.
It's really not. Yeah, Peyton Manning's one of arguably the GOAT, if not Tom Brady. It's Peyton Manning. You could argue some people here and there, but Peyton Manning is a little G god at being a quarterback. And Eli, even though he's a 2-time Super Bowl MVP, listen,
he's not paid.
You lost half of the games you played, and you won half the games you played in. So that's not exactly amazing. I guess it's better than losing more than half the games, but quarterbacks now should be winning at least more than.
I think he's his mindset was I'm out of good stuff to do. I'm not gonna pull anything off.
He knows that the Giants are gonna have a losing season next year, and so he wants to get out before then. Let Daniel Jones take it. I mean, he's a good quarterback. Let him have it.
Maybe we'll see him in some commercials.
Maybe that's what I'm saying.
Do what Peyton did.
What does Peyton do? He's doing Allstate.
Allstate.
Eli, go to State Farm and have a brother rivalry with insurance companies. Yeah, heck yeah. Or go be with Patrick Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers. They had State Farm, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were State Farm. So go do that. Have just NFL with insurance companies. I don't know. A couple episodes ago, we talked about the new era of XFL that's coming next season, and sort of their different rules are going to be kind of no kickoffs. It's going to be very fast paced.
Yeah.
There's going to be strict rules on when they can take TV timeouts. And so really, I was saying how that was sort of a move into faster football. And what they've been doing for years, because they took a break, right?
Yeah.
That time they spin off, they were just surveying people that watch football, people that really enjoy football, and saying, hey, what rules would you like to see changed in the game in the NFL? And basically they took that information, and that's what they're starting with the XFL. So it's going to be a faster paced game. Now, the NFL is responding. So the Pro Bowl is coming up, and they're making a statement that, hey, we're not going to let you take fast-paced football and own it. So they're changing the rules now.
They got to compete. They can't. NFL can't not be number one.
They can't be slower than the XFL, and that was sort of the AAF's problem, was that they weren't really much different, and they had new teams in different cities, and really they weren't differentiating themselves, and they really went out of business because nobody knew the players, nobody wanted to buy merchandise, nobody wanted to buy tickets.
Nobody knew they were a thing.
Exactly. So the XFL is kind of differentiating themselves by making everything super fast.
Yeah, that's what their thing is going to be. They're trying to trailblaze.
Yeah.
Set themselves apart and get their own fan base.
Yeah. So the NFL is testing new rules for next season in this season's Pro Bowl. So instead of going for onside kicks, they're going to basically have a 4th and 15 from their opponent's 25-yard line. So basically, and I don't even know if I like that, because number one, 4th and 15 on your opponent's 25. Okay, so it's not just a one-play thing. It's probably going to be you got to get 15 yards to keep the ball and then, go from there. But, with the high-powered offenses today, they're really encouraging higher scoring.
Yeah.
They're really encouraging that. And so, which is fine. I mean, I'm down for it. But you got to respect the onside kick. It's a very rare occurrence that a team gets an onside kick. So when they do, there's a lot of momentum on that sideline, and you can take that onside kick, and you can go drive down the field and score. It's not like, hey, we're going to put you on the 25 like in 7-on-7 or something like that. Like, this is high school, pickup game, and, we're just going to give you the ball. So who am I to say that it's not going to work? It could, but I would just rather see them stick to their guns. I know why they're doing it, obviously, but we'll see. We'll see how effective it is, and if the viewers like it, then they like it. But yeah, is that all we got for units and eulogies? Did we even? Yeah. Units and eulogies. We got it. So we're going into blowing up the phones. Yeah.
Yeah. So that I don't know. I was kind of irked by we're starting off with the Space Force. They announced. We can talk about the logo too.
Yeah.
Those are the two different separate monsters. I have an opinion on both. So first is the camo. They released the uniform, and they're using the OCPs. That's the camo that the Army and the Air Force wear right now. Mm-hmm. And everyone and their mother has an opinion on it about, like, well, why are they wearing camo? They're the Space Force.
Right.
There's no trees in space. But, like, what you don't understand is it's the traditional everyday uniform. The Army and Air Force have standardized it with it. Like, before it used to be ACU's, Army Combat Uniform, and they wore that.
Yeah.
It's a horrible uniform. We have to wear that right now.
Yeah.
And that didn't blend in with anything. Like, if you look up ACU camo, there is no environment the ACU camo blends in with. It was just a standardized uniform to have. And OCPs are a little better, but they don't necessarily blend into everything. It's just, that's the look that they've decided they want, the professional look they want the uniform to be for their everyday work going around. They're wearing other stuff when they're going out and fighting. Like the camo for Desert Storm was different. It was still like that, almost like woodland camo. Mm-hmm. But they would deploy in their desert camo for that. If they're going in an environment like that, they're going to wear it. But for now, that's just the look that the government has decided they want to have them.
Like, just a standard.
Yeah. And, I mean, the Marines and Navy have their own camos. But, like, Navy doesn't wear blue camo even though they're on the water because they got too many man overboard situations where they can't find the guy because he's dressed in all blue.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. People are not realizing that we don't wear camo because the guy going around doing the paperwork and financing for all of the Air Force, he doesn't need to be necessarily blend into every situation he's in.
Yeah.
It's just fine for him to be an OCP. You can recognize that.
Yeah.
And not every branch has their own wacky, crazy camo of the day. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't need to be black. It doesn't need to be a different uniform because it's still it's a standardized uniform underneath it.
Yeah.
So to just people freaking out and like calling that like a dumb move on our government is kind of like, what do you know about it?
Yeah.
Like,
well, they're coming from the elementary perspective that like one day when we are fighting in space over territory on Moon or when we're fighting over territory on the Moon or Mars, like we're going to be sticking out like a sore thumb. So do you think that when that day comes and we are fighting in space that they'll wear like a different uniform?
I think one day
like their office uniform is obviously when they're filing papers and making phone calls.
When the religious anarchy communist group of whatever you want to call it has taken foothold of the capital of Mars.
Yeah.
The Space Force Marines will be deploying in red camo.
Okay.
And back home they will be wearing OCPs, but they will have their red desert camo to deploy on the surface of Mars.
On Mars, yeah. And then if they're fighting in space, like in what game was that? What was some Call of Duty game where you fought in
Infinite
space?
Warfare.
Infinite Warfare.
Where you killed Jon Snow.
Yeah.
That's your enemy. Where you're fighting Jon Snow.
Yeah.
You know what they wore? They wore ACUs in that game.
Mm-hmm.
They wore the standard.
It was like white suits. It wasn't even.
Well, when they went to fight, it was in white suits. But when they were just walking around casually on Earth, they were in ACUs.
Yes.
Because that's the standard. That was the standard uniform at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Now this logo. Yeah. Have you seen it yet?
I haven't seen
it. It's the Star Trek Enterprise, or what's the government? Whatever the government in Star Trek is.
Yeah.
It's that logo. It's the same triangle-shaped spaceship. It's if you need to look this up because it's.
So it's just copy and paste.
It's copy and pasted, different color. It has like the year it was founded, which is this year, in Roman numerals, and then it's like they removed the like NASA part of the NASA logo and just put the Star Trek emblem in it. It says U.S. Space Force around. It is the Star Trek logo.
Wow.
And
so who is in charge of designing this? Is it?
I laugh because I'm kind of like, oh, it's Trump. He said, I want the Star Trek logo.
No way, though. He didn't. There's no way they'd let
I want the Jedi Order logo. No.
Yeah.
And you know, once they start having their special units that are deploying with saber lights.
Yeah.
They will have the Jedi Order logo, and they will wear that as a patch on them.
Oh boy,
this
is bad.
It is not. It's like not even like. Oh, I guess if you look at it's the Star Trek logo, and it is laughable.
Do people take the Space Force seriously?
Well, currently the Space Force only has one member.
What?
Yeah, it's the guy they put in. I don't know his name, but they took some guy from Air Force's Space Command because they're getting rid of that because now they're making a whole branch out of it.
Yeah.
Even though the Air Force already had an entire Space Command.
Yeah.
And so right now there's only one member of the Space Command, and it's just that guy that they pulled from.
Wait, so if the Air Force already had a Space Command, then what's the point?
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Like, no, because we've been learning about this all year. I spent my 3 semesters in Air Force ROTC, and one of the major command units we learned about is the U.S. Air Force Space Command, and I can't remember. I think it's it's not Louisiana. It's stationed. It's somewhere in the U.S. is the base for it.
Right.
And it runs every operation already, and it has this whole chain of command, people underneath working for it, that the Space Force will be taking over.
Okay.
But we decided we needed a 6th branch of the military for this.
Wow. That is... Wow, man.
I'm excited for, one day when it starts to grow. I will be an old man with my wife, whoever it is, pushing my baby down a cart on the quad and see a set of new dorms and ask some little bright young pisshead, hey, Sonny, I used to be in the Corps, and we only had, like, this many dorms. Who lives in there? He'd go, well, sir, that would be the Fighting Texas Aggie Rancor 1, the 1st Space Force outfit. Who lives in there? Yeah. First floor is Rancor 1, sir. Then you have X-Wing 5.
X-Wing 5.
On the 2nd floor. 3rd floor are the Vader 4s.
Oh, wow.
And on the 4th floor, we have the brightest Space Force outfit. The Yoda 6.
The Skywalkers.
Yeah, Skywalker 6.
Oh, God. And probably by then it'll be so, like, liberal that they'll be, like, the Rose 7s.
At that point, and at that moment, Old Army will be dead.
Yeah, at that point in time.
Or they will bring Star Wars-themed hazing into the Corps.
Dude, you know what?
Mandalorian 5.
Wow, I didn't know the Air Force had its own, like, space operation.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I guess it makes sense,
They're in charge of, like, these lasers that shoot down, from, like, the ground. Like, did you ever hear about that incident with China? So they, like, illegally launched this satellite, and the U.S. was like, if you launch that satellite, we're going to shoot it down. And they did.
Yeah.
And they were like, and now you have to clean it up.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh my god.
Oh, that's a power move.
Yeah, but no, so
move.
we have like these lasers, like, and no one knows where they are. I don't know if they're in space or on the ground, but they're just able to like beam up, and they just melt it or like scramble it, so that it just doesn't work anymore.
And it just falls. Wow. So I hope Donald Trump didn't do that.
I could see him having a hand on that logo.
He probably approved it, right? He was like, "Yes, that looks great. That looks fantastic.
Yes,
put it on,
just
put
like
it all
Star
over
Wars."
Them. Yeah, brings back childhood
I
memories.
remember when Luke Kenobi wore that when he was driving through the death planet.
I remember that Luke Palpatine and Leia Hans. Yeah. So anyway, speaking of Donald Trump, his office, the Oval Office, for those of you who think that
booming.
Yeah, for some reason, if you think that he's not your president, I'm sorry, he is, and he does his work in the Oval Office, which is where every president has worked.
It's just a placeholder.
It's just he's just a mannequin. The LSU players were just vibing in the Oval Office.
Making TikToks.
Just vibing in the Oval Office. A lot of people were thinking it's disrespectful, and I'm like, okay, relax. It's okay.
What would you do if it, dude? I would be taking some funny videos in the Oval Office.
I'd be taking some videos in the Oval Office. I mean, come on. It's not like, obviously you don't want to be disrespectful and like spitting on the presidential seal.
No one did anything stupid.
No, they were just having a good time.
Making TikToks and
just having a good time. So people were outraged. And I don't know if it does. I don't know. I don't know if it was like all people on the right that were outraged or all people on the left.
I think it was both.
Probably both were like, "Hey, this is too far."
Some people were like, "This is exactly why our administration's a joke."
Yeah.
And then other people were like, "Oh, this is gonna bring bad reputation on Donnie."
No, it's really not. Like, they're just having a good time. They're having fun. I mean, at least they came, right?
Yeah.
You wouldn't. At least they showed up. Most teams are like, no, we just hate Donald because we're political now and just won't show up. It's like, dude, go celebrate. You
earned that.
Yeah, you earned it. Go to Washington D.C. in the White House. Forget about Donald Trump. Forget about Donald Trump. Go to the Oval Office, man, where every other president that you probably liked or don't like has been in there. Kennedy, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, the people that think Kennedy's an attractive man.
Dude, he was a celebrity.
He was a stud. But speaking on more serious notes, the National Archives were basically taking images from the Women's March. And, of course, the Women's March is, I mean, in theory, it's cool. Like, it's a good thing, obviously, but people take things that were, like, way too far and, like, out of context.
You gotta have a march for everything.
Yeah. There's a march.
You know what? I got, like, flack for this. Because, you know how they had that, like, straight pride march?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, you don't have to have that to prove a point.
Yeah.
Like...
I mean, but I see the point.
I see the point they're trying to make, but at the same time, I was like, you have to funnel all those resources just to make the most petty point.
They're trying to prove that like heterophobia is a thing.
Yeah.
Because if homophobia is a thing, then heterophobia by default has to be a thing.
Yeah.
And it's sound logic, but I mean, don't waste dollars. Don't go out and build a lemonade stand so you can have your hetero pride parade. We get it. But anyway. So at the Women's March, historically there have been crazy blue-haired feminists, and you all know one. They're at your local gender studies classroom. We all know the type, and they all kind of go crazy and make things a big deal when they're really not. So the people are like blatantly cussing out Donald Trump, and there's children at these events, and
I know, and they advertise them as like family friendly, but then there's people walking around like naked,
literally walking around naked, and it's like, come on, let's be a little respectful of like people bringing their kids to these things. They don't want to see that. Their kids don't want to see that.
Even if I was fine with whatever my kid I will be fine with whatever my kid wants to be, but I'm not gonna guide him in a path.
Right.
Even if I was trying to guide my kid into that homosexual path.
Yeah.
I wouldn't bring him to a gay pride parade.
No.
I've seen
if my son or daughter is a homosexual, I'm not bringing him to those things or her to those things because I don't want them to see these dudes in banana hammocks.
Yeah, I don't want to see that.
I don't want to see that at all. And the stuff that they say there, it's it's not wholesome. It's not really edifying. In my mind, it's not really. And they, I don't know.
I don't want to get in too much on this, but people basically have been saying like F Trump on signs, screaming his name. So when photographers take these pictures, it goes up on the National Archives where they basically hold our history in real time. And those pictures have been edited. It basically blurs out like the F Trump parts of these people's signs. And so it's kind of controversial because is America like changing the course of history? Because obviously there are people crazy enough to like cuss out the president for whatever way.
Yeah, and I mean you can't just censor that. That's like stuff that's happening.
Exactly, and if people have that opinion, then you can't silence them.
Yeah.
You know,
like
you can't
just,
take that part out of history, and then it leads you to believe what else have they been censoring.
Yeah.
You know, what else are they keeping from us that actually happened?
What happened back then that we weren't alive for that we don't now know about?
That we don't. That's in the history textbooks that we don't know about.
Yeah.
You know. And it's like we hear one thing about how slavery and how the civil rights movement went down, and how Jim Crow went down, but is that the whole story? Because if they're willing to take out, you know, a couple F words about Trump, what else are they willing to hide? You know, because that's a small thing.
In one of my classes, he was showing us these textbooks, and they like blur history. So like it was showing demographics of like races and how they got to America, and it was like you could see in the starting in the 1500s, Africans in mass began to immigrate to the U.S. to find work, and I was like, no, that's not what happened.
Yeah, they were taken.
It wasn't. I think I'm gonna go to the New World to go find work.
To go find indentured servitude.
They were no, it doesn't even say that. It just says to find work.
Yeah, right.
I was like, that's so bad.
That's messed up.
And it's like an actual textbook that's like, it's used in like, I think he said it was like in Georgia.
Wow.
And it was like published 2 years ago.
That's insane, dude.
I was like,
you can't. No. So that's not a thing. So, you know, hey, U.S. government, come on the show. We'll talk about why you shouldn't censor people's opinions. Even if it's like, you know, if it said F Hillary Clinton or F, like, you know, Martin Luther King or some wild thing like that, like, don't censor that, bro. Like, that's someone's real opinion. Like, it's going to offend literally everyone in America. You know, if you were to say, hey, if you were to cuss out Martin Luther King, you know, you can't. Number one, you shouldn't say that. I mean, you should be able to say that because First Amendment rights.
But you shouldn't.
But you shouldn't because it's ridiculous. And so the incentive to not say that kind of stuff is, you know, this kind of outrage. Not like you have to be silenced now because we don't agree with you. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you shouldn't say things that are going to offend a lot of people, but nobody should force you to be quiet. But yeah, so the U.S. government definitely shouldn't censor anybody.
Yeah.
They need to put those. They need to, you know, keep the archives for what it is, because this is what's happening. We're witnessing it happen. I mean, when Kobe died, literally, we were in IHOP when you texted me.
Yeah.
We heard people across the tables talking about, yo, did you just hear about Kobe? And it was like instantaneous information. So you're not fooling anybody. We're seeing this stuff on CNN. We're seeing this stuff on Fox, on Twitter about people don't like Trump.
And it's
you know?
in here.
Yeah.
I have it.
Yeah, you remember it, obviously, because it's happening in real time. So I don't know who they're trying to fool here. I mean, we all know that people don't like Trump. It's obvious, okay? Half of the country doesn't like him. And half of the country is very angry about him for whatever reason. And so you can't keep that part out of history.
Yeah.
We're never going to forget that. That it's this huge divisive thing in our country.
This is a big, like, divide.
Oh, it's black and white. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, again, come on the show. We'll talk to you about it.
On to some good news.
Finally, some good news.
Star Wars: The Clone. I'm a big fan. I love that show.
It's a great show.
I rewatch it every now and then.
It's a great show.
Star Wars: The Clone Wars, the animated series that was on Cartoon Network. When we were kids.
Yeah.
They're bringing back. They're coming back, and they just finished. It's coming out next month.
Yep.
The final season.
Yep.
And I'm excited for it. It looks good. I watched. I don't know if you watched Star Wars Rebels.
Yeah.
I watched that. I liked it.
That's a great show too.
Some people hate it, but I like the way it ties with the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
And so it'll be interesting to see how like those two mesh in this final season. And it's probably gonna hit heavy because it's supposed to hit like Order 66 and some of the aftermath.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah. Well, they allude to Order 66 so much in the Clone Wars and like the last couple seasons, and I mean they allude hard to it, especially when Yoda's trying to figure out how to become a Force ghost and and that whole thing with the wills. I mean, it's insane. And so
the whole like conspiracy where that one clone's like chip went deficient. He killed a Jedi.
Which, his chip went deficient. There's no, I mean, that was what they're saying.
Yeah.
Basically,
but that was a good arc. There's that whole following that whole conspiracy, and they were trying to cover it up.
And I'm ready to see Anakin's arc come to an end, to see how they portray that, because we only have one portrayal of his crossover, and it's in a movie that people are kind of split on. So generally, I've heard really good things about the Clone Wars. Nobody has come out and said that they don't like it.
Yeah.
Whereas people don't like the prequels at all. They think they're garbage. And so they better not mess up that arc there.
I'm interested, though, because Ahsoka's coming back in this one. And, spoiler alert for Rebels, if you haven't seen it, one of my favorite parts is when they're on this Sith planet, and Darth Vader shows up, and Ahsoka's also there.
Yeah.
And so she's under the assumption that Darth Vader isn't Anakin. It's who killed Anakin and all the Jedi.
Yeah.
And then she strikes him in the face, and it blasts part of his mask off. Mm-hmm. And so his real human voice is coming out, and you can see his face. And she realizes that that's Anakin.
Yep.
And all the emotions roll in of when they left. I'm interested to see what more they can add to that will make that fight so much better.
Yeah, and it is. I mean, they're fighting for some holocron, right? And they were.
It's it's a Sith doomsday weapon.
Oh, okay.
And they're trying to just deactivate it.
Okay. So yeah, I mean that's both shows are great, and I hope that they just tie it in so seamlessly. Yeah. I would almost be not opposed to seeing them go frame for frame of episode 3.
If they have
because if it's supposed to be all canonically correct. So if Obi-Wan says something different than Obi-Wan in the Clone Wars, it's kind of it's not. There's discrepancies there, so they kind of have to do, at least in the fight scene, if they show it at all. I'm not saying that they're going to, but if they show Obi-Wan and Anakin's fight at all, they have to be point for point, because it's the same event happening.
Or they'll just skip over.
They might just not put it in. Yeah, and
it would be weird to see a anime, because they can do so much different animated than in live action.
Right. Yeah.
It's if they did Palpatine's fight.
Right.
With Mace Windu again, that would be that'd be a lot more action packed.
Oh yeah, for sure. So I'm excited for this, and you said it comes out when?
It's February 14th or something like that.
Yeah.
It's next month.
Did you care at all about the Obi-Wan series or the Obi-Wan movie that was coming out?
Yeah, I was excited to see that.
Well, it's put on hold now.
Oh, is it put on?
Yeah.
Because I saw conflicting tweets that it was starting filming and that it was canceled and then.
Well, they basically ousted the writers for it because I guess they couldn't find out a good vision for it. I think Kathleen Kennedy was involved, and has done god awful things for the Star Wars franchise. So I'm glad she's out of there. Or she might have left, actually. I don't know. But either way, she's not writing for Star Wars anymore, and so I don't know. It's indefinitely on hold. And I would have loved to see, because I know that Ewan has confirmed that he was going to come back to film it, and so I would have loved to see that. But it's on hold for now. We'll keep y'all updated. The freaking coronavirus. So, all right. So, for those of you who are living under a rock, there's a new virus out.
A new plague.
The new
plague we've been asking for finally came.
Yes, finally, to kill all the people. Just kidding. So it started in where? China?
China.
Okay, so China started this virus. Good job, China. I mean, and it's infecting a lot of people. I think confirmed 130, 140 people are dying. Only one of those people, though, were a healthy 30-year-old man.
Yeah.
All the other people were elderly or children or had pre-existing conditions.
There's stuff getting leaked out because how they don't let Chinese people, Chinese citizens, communicate with the outside world.
Yeah.
There's stuff getting out that China's not being factual with how bad it is.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, starting a couple days ago, they started this 1,000-bed hospital.
Yeah.
And literally, you look this thing up, and it's hundreds of these giant backhoes just tilling the ground, leveling it, so that they can start construction. And it's supposed to be done in here in a couple days. That's how fast that they're doing this. Mm-hmm. I think it's supposed to be done February 2nd or something. I mean, it's literally in less than a week.
I saw something Hong Kong. They the protesters carried out an attack on a hospital that was under construction.
Oh my gosh.
So no, you need to fix this before we deal with this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's not going to be anything left.
Yeah, dude. It's very self-destructive. That's why, guys, communism doesn't work. Neither does socialism. Get your head out of your butt. Ugh, gosh. And LeBron, shut your mouth. You don't know anything about economic systems. What the you're what? Okay, I'm not saying you're limited to basketball. I'm just saying, do your research on what communism does.
Yeah.
And what these people are going through. Lord have mercy.
But
okay.
Now it's here.
Yeah.
Here.
It's in College Station.
Within 10 miles of where we're sitting, someone has coronavirus.
Yeah. And which is weird because the university sent out a mass email to every student. I know you got one because I got one. And it was basically saying like, hey, there is one confirmed case. There's one student that has it. HIPAA and FERPA laws don't allow for them to release any information on him. They obviously can't do that. But he's basically quarantined to his room. Now, every other case, these people are in a hospital.
Yeah.
These people are quarantined in a state-funded hospital, not their house. And they can't disclose what classes this guy's been taking, what his name is, where he lives. They're only talking to the people that have been in contact with him since he was in China.
Well, you go to, Aggie Reddit, and there's, because, they're, the Chinese community and A&M, they're all very close-knit. Yeah. All the, the racial communities here.
Yeah.
There's, you'll find, group me conversations about, we know who, I can't really tell you what classes he's been in, but, he has it. He went to Wuhan, and he came back.
Oh, my God.
And he's gone around a bit before he, got it confirmed.
Oh, Lord.
So.
Well, there's a bunch of, and I spend a lot of my time in North Campus, which is where all the engineering buildings are.
Yeah.
So Zachary, and that area of campus is predominantly Asian and Indian. And people don't tweet at me saying that Indians are Asians. We get it. We know geography, but I'm basically the minority, a white dude in that side of campus, and not all of them, but a good majority, overnight, as soon as Tuesday started.
Face mask,
and they're medical masks, and
not
it's
the fashion
not
ones.
not like the XPLR ones that Sam and Colby wear. These are the ones that you get out of a box that you pull out of a hospital
every hour.
It is scary. It is scary, man. So it's I feel like they know something that we don't.
But it's not just going to be confined to North Campus if it does spread, because you've got places like the MSC or the Rec.
Right.
Everyone goes there. Every major goes there.
Yes.
And it's just switching
everyone goes in Evans, the MSC. I mean, the Rec. Everyone.
It's scary to think because one of my buddies, he was coughing in the hallway today, and I was like,
sir, cover yourself, sir, please. Yeah, I know. We went bowling last night. You know how those balls can be greasy sometimes?
Oh.
It was just grimy. And I washed my hands probably 7 times after putting my fingers in those holes. I was I don't know what's been in these.
I've been watching my healthcare a lot more now.
I know. I think even Alex's mom told Alex to tell me to stop biting my nails because I bite my nails a lot.
Yeah.
She was tell him not to bite his nails anymore. So Dude, I've been watching it, and
it's scary stuff. How
yeah,
I don't know. I feel like him being in his house, especially if it is not.
It's just letting it fester. You gotta treat it. It's letting it grow and fester. Any virus that's if he coughs, that stuff's going on his walls, and then it's spreading.
Yeah, and it's going into the others, going into the
air vents.
Apartment complexes. Yeah, ventilation.
Yeah.
And then it's all over campus.
It's scary, man. So I guess prayers for that.
Fourth confirmed case in California, so it is.
It's here.
It's capable of spreading in the U.S., which is scary.
So is it traveled by air then? Like a wind takes an eastern,
a western wind. Dude, it travels by sight.
Yeah,
Dude, you just look at someone.
You just look at it and you get and you die.
It travels by thought.
Yeah, if you think, oh, we're dead then, we're dead. Everyone listening to this podcast now is dead. Turn it off.
Don't stop listening.
We still got a lot to talk about. I don't know what we're doing here.
You will get corona for your support.
So in addition, I'm not even going to say that. I can't compare this. I was about to say something. Mr. Peanut.
Oh, yeah.
Rest in peace, Mr. Peanut. It was a Super Bowl commercial where Mr. Peanut is driving in a car with these 2 dudes, and they run off a cliff, and they're all hanging on a branch, and the branch is about to break. The branch
can't hold.
The branch can't hold 3 people, so he's
can't hold 2 people on a peanut.
Yeah, and
but it can hold 2 people.
So they're all looking at Mr. Peanut, and they're like, "No, don't do it to save us." And Mr. Peanut's like, "No, I'll save you." So he falls, right, and he lands on the ground, and they're like, "Oh, okay, he's fine." And then the car blows up, and they're like, "He's dead." So then they have Mr. Peanut dying
from whenever he started
to
2020.
Back.
Yeah, he's coming back. He's gonna resurrect. They're gonna make him like
I have seen
sovereign.
some funny videos about that. You know, like Aunt Debbie's or Little Debbie's Twitter was like so sad to see Mr. Clean.
Yeah.
But I have seen some funny videos of just like the different dramatic music they put over it behind, and they are funny.
It's hilarious. Mr. Peanut, rest in peace.
Gone too soon.
Yeah. I don't know much about number 7, so go ahead.
Oh, yeah. So, like, it happened again. Like, I don't know. Every time Puerto Rico fixes, like, they have some corrupt government politician at all times.
Yeah.
So people have been traveling miles to get supplies. Like, people sending in outside supplies for these earthquakes.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
There was a warehouse full of supplies the whole time. Relief supplies in the capital. For just, like, the elite? Yeah, and they weren't distributing it to... I don't even think the elite used it. I think because they were just so fine on their own that they didn't have to worry. What the heck? I think they were just like, we'll save it. We'll hold on to it in case something happens. Case what happens? People are already hungry. But so it's just like, people are like, are you serious? Because this is like another time that like they've had some official they've put into power. And they've just screwed them over during a national disaster. Yeah. Wow, man. You know, so that's messed up. That's terrible. You want to move on to Might I Recommend? Yeah. Might I Recommend? Starting don't F out. With cats. Yeah, don't F with cats. So this is a show that if you like Dateline or 2020, I know the most popular shows on Netflix have been stuff about like serial killers and murders. Yeah. For whatever reason, humans like watching that stuff. I don't know why. I'm not saying I don't. I enjoy watching. I think people are like, "Oh, I'm crazy, but I'm not that crazy." Yeah, I'm not that bad. Like, I would never kill somebody, or like, I guess wanting to dive in because it's so foreign to a normal person to like want to kill somebody. Yeah. You know, because I'm the type of person that I'll watch a TikTok, and it's about this. So, let me start with it. So I watched a TikTok, and it was about this veteran who had lost 2 buddies overseas, and he has a tattoo of their names, like First Sergeant blah blah blah, Sergeant whatever, and he lost those boys, and so he has a TikTok account, and somebody saw his tattoo and the names on it, and he sent him a 50 cal shell, but it's like a shot glass, and on the shot glass it has like their names on it and like their dates, and then inside the shot glass it has "I got your back," like IGY6. Yeah. And he's just like he's like, I don't know who sent me that. I went through a rough patch this week. I really miss these dudes, and I get this in the mail today, and he didn't even know who sent it. Yeah. And he just gets this in the mail today, and this is a grown veteran who's seen like the worst parts of the world, just crying, and I'm watching this and I'm bawling. So I guess the normal person would watch something like that, or like an old person, you know, losing their wife, or like a dog is coming home and to like her mom that's a veteran or whatever. And, you know, it's like you watch this stuff and you cry. So when you know that people are out there that would literally kill a child and, like, cut it into pieces, you want to dive into, like, somebody's psyche. Like, what makes somebody do that? So maybe that's why it's so popular, because it's so foreign to everybody else that's normal. So Netflix is pumping these things out, man. So there's one called Don't F With Cats. And I love the premise of it because I had no clue about any of this. And, like, they just keep going chronologically, and you're kind of like, okay, he did that, but there's worse people, and they're like, oh, he did that. Yeah. And the way, so it's like, you know, so this whole thing starts out, and it happened a while ago, like 2008, 2009 is when they started this thing. So so back then, man, you think about how far like social media is right now. 2008, it was less than half of what it is today. They're like collaborating on MySpace. I know. It was some Facebook group, and so anyway, this person uploads a video of him putting 2 kittens in like a plastic bag and like suffocating them, vacuum sealing them, and it's an awful thing. And so these people form this Facebook group, basically trying to find this guy. And it's these, you know, computer nerds that are, like, searching literally people that are going far and wide throughout the internet. Finding the vacuum in his room, the same model vacuum. They're going frame by frame of this video trying to find, like, things in the room that they could find out where he is. Because they don't need to know who he is yet. They just need to find out where he is so they can narrow down their search. They use, like, a pack of cigarettes and a vacuum to like, narrow down you're in this part of the world. Because there's certain cigarette laws on, like, hey,
certain cities and states you have to have this stuff on your labeling, and so they use that to sort of find out. So they go through this thing, years of searching on the internet. These people have jobs in real life. And so he's basically toying with them. He'll make fake accounts.
And be like, you'll never find me.
Yeah, he'll give them false information, real information. Anyway, so this guy's name, what was his name? Something Magnotta?
Yeah.
Luca Magnotta.
Yeah.
So this guy's name is Luca Magnotta. He's an aspiring Canadian model, and nobody really wants him. He's a skinny dude, doesn't look that great, kind of looks creepy, doesn't get any work. And basically he starts doing this stuff, man. He starts torturing kittens. And after a while, that doesn't satisfy him enough. He gets a lot of attention from this Facebook, and this Facebook group goes from like 5 people to like 12,000 people.
Yeah, they've enlisted an army to find him.
Yeah, and so basically he's leaving them clues like, hey, I'm gonna kill a person. I'm gonna do this to a person now. I'm done with cats. I'm gonna do this to a person, and so eventually he kills a person. Yeah. And now it's not some Facebook group. Now it's like the FBI. And he's not in the United States. He's international. He's Canada. He's Russia. He's Australia.
They had a place in they had some like place in Africa.
Oh yeah.
They tracked him to.
Oh yeah. And so the links that these people go to find this guy's insane. And the thing that really because he obviously filmed the murder of this poor young man. Lured him in through like Craigslist and ended up murdering him in like such a terrible way. And the homicide detective that was on the case was a Austrian woman, I think. I don't know. But so if you're a homicide detective, you've seen terrible things in your life. You've seen some stuff. And she's talking about the stuff on this video. They ask her to describe frame by frame what happened, and she just breaks down. And she's just like, I have to stop. I have to stop. Like, I have to stop. This is too much. And she's in tears. Like, this is a woman that's seen the worst of the worst in humanity, and she can't watch it. And so obviously they don't show it on Netflix because it's so bad. But, so that's what really gripped me is like, this dude is insane. And then he tried to blame it on like some weird, like, gay sex trafficking ring, and turns out that was all BS. Turns out the people that he was saying was running this was another alias that he was made.
He was a criminal mastermind.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Turns out all that stuff was BS. All the stuff, it was all based on like some movie that he really liked.
Yeah.
It's like, what? And so basically, he said that there was this dude named Manny that was, like telling him to kill people and like giving him clues and making him do stuff, and he had a hand in everything. And really, Manny was a character in this movie that he really liked. And it wasn't BS. So
it was Fight Club.
Yeah, it was pretty much something like that. And
he ripped off the plot of Fight Club.
Yeah,
but it was him the whole time.
Yeah, and so it's a great show. Some language here and there, so be careful. Very graphic.
Some graphic, they
very
do show the cats
stuff.
at times.
Yeah, they show some stuff. So if you're an adult and you can handle yourself and be mature about it, go.
You're not gonna be a copycat.
Yeah, don't. Yeah, if you don't find this thing like attractive and you're not a sick person, or if you like Dateline or 2020, I know a lot of people out there watch that on TV. This is kind of another thing like that, sort of a murder mystery,
or if you
late
just like
night true crime.
I love the way they like filmed it. Like it gets you into it. You're like, let's see where this goes.
It's just a lot of rabbit holes that you can go down. So yeah, I can't really necessarily condone all the words they say or whatever, but it's
crazy.
It's an interesting
show.
show.
The hoops and links they jump through to find this guy.
Yeah.
A Facebook group.
Yeah, I know, and the Facebook group blows up. I mean, and there's 2 main like people that are on it, and this guy, they never really addressed it again. But so this woman who's an admin on this Facebook group, she works at a Las Vegas casino, and so this guy the guy that they're looking for uploads a video of the same casino that she works at. So I don't know how he found her.
Yeah, I was like
and
watch your back.
They really didn't come after go into that again. You know what I mean? They kind of just left it at that. They said that there was a video posted of her work, and they didn't really go into any much detail about it.
I was surprised they didn't go further, because I would have been scared to be her.
That's a huge thing. Yeah, it's that this guy, this psychopath, is at your job filming, trying to find you, and he knows where you work and probably knows where you live.
Or even if he has like a network, and he's like, I can strike you from here.
I can strike you down. So it's tough. going on, I wanted to talk because
I was interested to see where you're going with this.
By the way, okay, so we've talked about, I think it might have been the bonus episode.
The New Year, New Me.
Not the New Year, New Me, because it started before Christmas even happened. But I saw. I guess I saw throughout the last month and a half of my life of there's a difference between discipline and motivation. Like if you're motivated to do something. Like, say you want to get up earlier in the morning.
Yeah.
You're not going to have motivation in the morning to get up. You're going to want to sleep in. So, in order to reach that goal, you're going to need discipline and not motivation. If you need motivation to do anything that you want, like if you want to do something consistent in your life, if you want to wake up early and go to the gym every morning, you're not always going to be motivated to do that.
Yeah.
And so, the thing that's going to drive you to do that is discipline. So if you don't have discipline in your life, you're not going to reach the goals that you've set for yourself. And so it's just sort of a thing that's been on my mind. Like, hey, there's a lot of things I want to do. Like my big phrase for the last couple months is do more. You can't do more. Yeah, it's on the big whiteboard there. You can't do more unless you have discipline in your life. And that goes for everything. That goes for your spiritual life. Like if you want to read your Bible every day and you want to memorize scripture, that comes with
time for that.
That comes with discipline. It comes with sacrificing your time to do that. So that comes with discipline, and that doesn't come from motivation because, I'll be honest, I don't always feel motivation to go to the gym or eat right or read my Bible or pray or do my homework on time or go to bed at a decent hour.
Mm-hmm.
Those things take discipline. Those things take habit building skills. So I would recommend, might I recommend having discipline instead of motivation?
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Okay.
What's
poppin'? So basically I've been posting on the Instagram story a lot.
Doing some polls. Topic suggestions. We got a pretty good idea on what we're going to say at the end of the episode now from the fans, from you guys. So thank you. Go follow the Instagram and Twitter to check out further polls. If they've been listening the whole time, they're like, when are they going to talk about me? Exactly. What I want. This is where we talk about it. You wanted this section, so we're giving it to you. I know you have some crazy stories. I know I have some pretty crazy stories. I was on a ghost club for you were. 2 semesters. Yeah, I got one. So this is something that I love to talk about. Not that it's scary, but I've had something happen in here, actually, that I've told on a podcast previously, but I'll retell it because it's bad. So we got a topic suggestion to talk about any paranormal or just any paranormal or crazy college stories is what the question was. But we're going to stick to paranormal because I'm an engineering student. I don't have crazy college stories. I don't have time for all that. But so Josh, you were in a ghost club last semester. Yeah, so tell us about that. It started second semester freshman year. I joined Texas A&M Paranormal Society, and if y'all want to hear more about this, I can get Officer from the club because my roommate is still
Bring him on, dude.
Yeah, he's had some bonus episode. We'll talk.
Yeah, bonus episode.
That's your incentive to do a Patreon.
Yes,
you'll get all the ghost stories. Yes. So the first investigation we went on was to a place on campus. Nothing scary happened there. It was really funny because I thought it was really stupid. But only spooky thing was I found my girlfriend there. Oh yeah. There you go. But the second and last investigation I won them with, this made me basically with the club, I got less involved after it. Mm-hmm. We drove out to Huntsville, and there's this place, it's called the Crossroads. It's right by a cemetery, and it's just a series of dirt paths, and they're all left or right. There's no trios or singles or quadruple paths. Mm-hmm. It's all just branching off paths and 1 or 2. And so they'd gone there on one investigation, the group before us, and nothing really happened. But in between that, one of our presidents was at the MSC, and this crazy dude got him to take this cursed wooden bunny sculpture, and the dude was please take, and he cried when he finally was yeah, I'll take it. What the heck? Because you can't pass it on unless someone knows about the curse, and he explained it to them. So these two guys, they lived together, and they kept having paranormal stuff. One of them was in his closet in the dark fiddling with stuff, and he looked up and he saw yellow eyes, and the thing scurried off whatever was in the closet. What the heck? They'd set up equipment, and it would be going off, and they did this weird test where they were in the dark and they couldn't find each other. Something was keeping them from ever getting close to each other. Whoa. They would hear their voices in different spots. Yeah. And it all culminated. They had the same reoccurring dream like a week in a row every night about this crossroad location that we had gone to before.
Yeah.
So we go back with the bunny, and we park in the back, and and so there's stuff about like crazy like rednecks out there. It's Huntsville.
Right.
And so what we do, we get this bunny in a circle, and we have equipment on it to like, and so like if the gear lights up like varying, it means it's like we're getting a response like a yes or no.
Right.
So we're asking yes or no's, like yes, light it up if it's yes.
Yeah.
And so if we didn't get anything for it. So we get out of the cars. I got to set this up. We get out of the cars. It's hot, muggy, stagnant, no wind. The trees aren't moving, like normal, like August weather.
Yeah.
And, so it's in a circle, and so it doesn't respond to anything. And then someone goes, are we being watched, or are we being followed? Everyone's equipment, like, in the circle and, like, on the bunny maxed out.
Oh, my gosh.
And you can hear, like, I was like, oh, it's a bunny. It was, like, something, like, a bunny walked across the trail, like, out of the woods. And I was like, oh, my God. That was when I started getting suspicious.
Yeah.
So now what we started doing is we'd go to the, like, branching paths, and we'd this way or this way, and we'd get, like, yes, this way from the bunny holding the radar.
Yeah.
And we kept going that way, and, we're just going around. And we walk by this one patch, and so it had rained earlier that day.
Mm-hmm.
It had rained.
Yeah.
And so there were still a few fresh puddles. And so we get by, or it had been raining all day, basically. Yeah. But it stopped when we got there. And so we come across this, like, it's all this trash on the side. And, like, the bunny's going off, like, to stop right there.
Yeah.
And it's all this trash. It's this elderly woman's ID, prescription drugs, family photos, her scarf, her purse, a bunch of, like, receipts and papers and stuff, her wallet.
Yeah.
On the side of the road. And so I grabbed a picture of the ID. I didn't want to touch anything because I'm like, this is a crime scene.
A crime scene, yeah.
And, people start walking back to, like, the woods, like, in the area. And the radars are going, like, beep, beep, beep. And it gets cold. It got cold and windy. Like, the leaves are falling. And, right before I left, because some of us were like, we're going back to the cars.
Yeah.
Right before we left, I realized everything in that pile was dry. And it had only stopped raining once we got there.
Okay.
Everything was dry and clean. It wasn't, like, muddy or anything.
Oh, boy. So that was dumped while you got there.
Yeah, and so,
after it stopped raining?
So I think it was like 5 of us were walking back to the cars, and 3 people were staying looking around. And I remember I turned around to be like, are y'all heading back? And I turn around, there's 4 people standing there. 3 of them are like have their backs to each other with their flashlights. And there's like one guy who I can barely make out, but he's like in denim clothing, just standing there in between them, like in the pile.
Oh.
And then I hear one of the guys with the flashlight turn around and he went, run. And so we haul back to the cars.
Whoa.
And we're gone, and like, so we race back and we get to Walmart and we call about like,
a missing person.
Report this. Yeah. Well, I looked up the name on the ID because I had the picture of it and all and everything. I looked up the name on the ID, and there was a missing person report case for that person.
Wow.
And it shook me. I was like, oh my God.
Oh.
And so they filed that and everything, and I'd have to talk with the president, but I think he got like updates on it or something.
Yeah.
But he said like he remembered like looking, and the guy was just like this crazy dude, and his like eyes were like just like glazed over.
Oh.
And he didn't say anything. He just like walked out in between them and was like standing there looking at them.
Oh.
And
that's not safe.
But the last thing, I didn't find out till a day later, they ran back with the bunny because they were the last to get in the car.
Yeah.
And one of them threw the bunny in the bed of the truck, and every equipment was going off. Like their lights were freaking out in the car. Mm-hmm. And then they got the bunny in, and everything went back to normal. Because the bunny was like, "Don't you leave me in the bed of this truck."
No, sir. Oh.
And I mean, I was shaking like when we like got in the Walmart parking lot. I was like, "Wow."
Golly.
What just happened?
Lord of mercy. That is terrible.
And so that's the last time I've done anything with them. Anderson has some videos. They went to like, I think it was an old school or something.
Mm-hmm.
and you can hear something moving around upstairs and like noises.
Gotta have him on the show then.
Yeah, it's like this room where like you're only gonna have stuff if like one person's in it, but you can record and catch stuff.
Yeah.
And so everyone's in the same room. There's like there's no one upstairs in the attic, and you can just hear like the of someone walking around. It's like I was getting chills watching the video.
Oh my God. Well, that's insane. So, we've talked about Taylor Hotchkiss' story on the show, but I'll speak from personal experience. There was one time... Well, I'll tell the story that happened in this room.
Yeah,
actually.
I'm interested.
So,
I haven't heard this one.
Okay, so this is a weird one because this happened around the time that I started to get really, not motivated, but really into like, I want to do all this stuff. Like where the do more phrase came in my head and I guess got applied to my life. And where I knew that we had to start the podcast again and we had to get big and, school was going to start up. Plus I'm working. And so I knew I had to do all this stuff and I wanted to still work out. So I'm having this huge like motivational high, I guess you could say. Mm-hmm. And I still am. I'm still grateful that I am. And, so I get up one morning to drive to Brenham to work, and it's about an hour drive.
Yeah.
And I need to be at the office at 8, so I need to leave at 7, so I woke up at 6:20 to shower and get dressed and have a cup of coffee and eat breakfast and get on the road. So I get up, and, it's dark outside, and, I have these lights on, the LEDs, and so
mood lighting.
Yeah, so I go in the bathroom, which if you can't see it, it's that door frame behind you. Notice how there's nothing on the wall, okay? And my bed is on the wall, but it's low. So if I'm standing up, my eye level is going to be sort of higher up. There's no flags on the wall. There's no the only white sheet is on the bed, and there's nothing that's going to make it, fly across the door frame, okay?
Yeah.
So, and obviously there's nothing else that can come in contact with that door. So I get up and I walk through the door. And obviously there's a mirror, like right when you walk in, that's facing out towards this way. And so I walk in the door and I'm about to start brushing I'm putting toothpaste on my toothbrush, put water on it. When I look up at the mirror, right behind the door frame, there's some white, it looks like a white sheet that just pans across the door frame like that. It just kind of crosses it. And so now I'm mad. Now I'm mad because something's like here messing with me, okay? So literally, and I'm like, the hairs stand up on the back of my traps, and I'm all like tense. Freaking out. I'm all tense, and my spine is like all tense, and my back's like flaring up, and my head is just going crazy. And I'm like, so much adrenaline is in my body right now. It's like a fight or flight thing. And when you put a man in a corner with adrenaline in his system,
and a toothbrush in
hand, things literally, somebody was gonna die.
This is Hello toothpaste. I paid $20.
Literally, it was one of those things where I was like, okay, this is it. Either I die or somebody in my room dies. Somebody's dying right now, and it's not gonna be me. And so I see this thing, and I'm like standing in my door, and I'm about to like jump out of the door frame and just like kill somebody. And
judo chop the ghost.
Literally, yeah. So I'm like hyping myself up. I just breathe, and I'm like freaking out. So I just jump, and I'm about to like knock whatever is there out. Nothing's there. But it was literally like as soon as I walked through the door, it looked like some white just sheet. And it's like behind me at this point. So I'm like, here's the door frame. I walk like in, and as I look into the mirror, something just like crosses the door frame that I could see it. And I don't know what that was. Obviously there's nothing on my wall that could have. I mean, I have a fan running. If I had a flag hanging on my wall and the fan was blowing, I could see how the fan could blow the flag.
Nothing in there.
But there's nothing there's nothing. And so I don't know what that was. But I know I saw something. I know I had a physical reaction to it.
Yeah.
And there was adrenaline that was in my body. It wasn't like I was seeing something and that wasn't there. So that was the most recent thing that's happened to me. And that was really the only thing that I've ever seen.
I've never seen anything. I've had like weird feelings in places at night sometimes, but I think that's just like the human mind just tricking itself into thinking that there's something there, but it's not. It's like one time I was home alone and the alarm went off, and no doors were open. Like no doors got open. I was playing Xbox with I think you and Preston. This is a long time ago, and so the alarm goes off, and then I obviously cut it off, and I sit back down, and it says front door opened. And if my parents were to come in, they'd come through the garage because they park in the garage.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, somebody's in the house. So I sprint to the front door, and it's locked. Nobody opened it. It's just the thing. So I get freaked out. And another time, I'm again home alone at night, and I think I hear like the downstairs faucet turn on, like in the guest bedroom.
Ugh.
And and I just saw this documentary or some 2020 about, like, if a serial killer is in your house or if somebody killer's in your house and you hear the faucet turn on, that means he wants you to go there to turn it off so he knows where you are. Like if you turn it off, he knows your position in the house.
Freak me out.
So I just finished this, and I swear to God I hear like the faucet turn on downstairs in the guest bathroom. So I'm like, I get like a baseball bat and like I wrap my knuckles. And I'm probably like a junior in high school, so I think I'm like the ish.
Geared for war.
Yeah, seriously. And so, like right after football season, like when I was on varsity, so I think I'm like the coolest dude in the world. So I'm like, I'm gonna defend my house, and I get this baseball bat, and I'm walking like I'm still upstairs, but I can see the downstairs bathroom, and sure enough, it's dripping. Like, it doesn't sound like it's on. It sounded like it was on, but now I can see it physically dripping.
Yeah.
Turns out it was just a leak, and I was just scaring myself.
Huh.
So, that happens sometimes so I've never seen anything until that. But I will say there was one story, and it was, again, I didn't see it, but this is with me and Nathaniel. So,
I know this one. So this one made me scared of my own house.
Yeah, me and Nathaniel, when Nathaniel was still in high school, our bedrooms are right next to each other, we're upstairs, and, so picture this, you walk out of my bedroom door, and you can see, like, looking down into the foyer of the house, and you can see the front door, and, like, it's a very open entrance, right? So me and Nathaniel's door are right next to each other, and if we both walked out at the same time, we can see the staircase, we can see the foyer, and we can see the front door. So one night, and Lucy is my family's dog. She slept with Nathaniel in his room.
Yeah.
Probably about 3 a.m, Lucy starts barking, and it wakes me up. And normally she doesn't bark. She's not a loud dog. She's very quiet. She literally naps all day. Like she's very extremely lazy.
Yeah.
So she wakes me up one night, and Nathaniel obviously gets woken up too, and so I, for whatever reason, I hear Nathaniel get out of bed, and Lucy starts like growling. Okay, so then I go to see what's happening because I can tell that she's like, I can hear her nails like walking towards the door, on the hardwood. Mm-hmm. And so we both open up the door, and I'm looking at Lucy, and she's growling at something. And then I look at Nathaniel, I'm like, what's going on? Nathaniel's eyes are fixed on the staircase. And then he looks at me, and he just says, just lock your door and go to bed. And I'm probably like 13, and he would be, I guess, 17 or 18. So we go to bed. I go back to bed. It's fine. I wake up the next morning, and I asked him, what was Lucy barking about? And he said when he looked at that staircase, he just saw hordes of these black figures, not like walking or running, but sprinting up the stairs. Just hordes of these black shadow figures sprinting up our stairs, like at us. And so, like I said, I didn't see that. That's just what he saw. And obviously Lucy sensed that too. Yeah. And she was barking in that direction and growling. So, I don't know. But that's sort of the scariest thing I did have 3 reoccurring dreams, though, when I was a kid. And, this is weird. I've only told a couple people about this. So, I had 3 reoccurring dreams. One of them was...
thought I saw coronavirus.
Oh, God. Did you?
Oh?
No way. What is it?
Please share that Broward County Health District negative test results were returned for novel coronavirus.
Okay, so nobody has coronavirus
at
A&M. Breaking news. College Station is safe. That doesn't mean that the memes can stop. We can still joke about it.
Yeah.
But anyway, so
my first reoccurring dream was that I was in my bed, half asleep, kind of like sleep paralysis.
Yeah.
And I want to hear that story again, too.
Which one?
Your sleep paralysis one,
yeah,
after banquet. So anyway, so it was kind of like that. And, so I'm in my bed and I can't move, but I can see, like, into the hallway. And I see this, like, dog, this, like, puppy that's standing on its hind legs, and it's just, like, smiling at me with these, like, eyes that don't blink. And I remember it had, like, spots, like almost like a beagle.
Yeah. It
kind of looked like a beagle, but a black and white beagle. It wasn't like a gray and white, or tan and white, I guess. And so it would just stand in the doorway and just look at me smiling. And then all of a sudden, it would just sprint at me and start tickling me until I wet the bed. Okay, that was my first recurring dream. Mind you, I'm probably like 5 or 6. My second one is I was at some mall where we were in a food court. I was just with my dad, not my mom at the time. I was just with my dad. And it was a food court. There's restaurants and seating area. And there's a giant play place. Okay? And I remember the walls were all white for whatever reason. So I'm in this play place, and you know those like half bubbles where you can look out? So I'm in this half bubble of this play place. And I'm looking out, and I can see everyone eating. I can see my dad sitting down with the food. And all of a sudden, I blink, and everybody's gone. Nobody's in the food court. I don't hear any kids playing behind me. And in the entrance of this food court is this white figure that's staring at me in the bubble. And he just starts walking towards me, and I'm trapped in this play place. And I wake up, and that's the end of the dream. The third reoccurring dream is where literally I'm laying in bed again, kind of the same atmosphere that the dog is in, but there's no dog. And all of a sudden my bed starts shaking, like in the dream, and I can feel like my bed vibrate. And I think there's a story that my parents like would wake me up sometimes, and I would be saying my bed is shaking, and I'd be like half crying. And so the creepiest thing, if my kid ever wakes me up and says that his bed is shaking, I'm beating him up.
He's not my dad.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Yeah, no, it's not. Shut your mouth. Don't do anything creepy. It's terrifying. So, and, so my bed would shake in this dream. And, I want to say, I don't know. I want to say that I think I woke up I woke myself up from the terror, and I think my bed was shaking a little bit. But I think I was still stuck in, like, dreaming mode. I don't think my bed was actually shaking. But it was terrifying. I don't have those dreams anymore. I think I stopped at like 7 or 8. I didn't have them anymore. But whatever it was trying to get at me at a very young age. And so I'm okay. So I'm fine. But yeah. So those are really the only experiences I have with them.
Yikes.
But what about your sleep paralysis one?
Yeah. So we had just finished our junior senior banquet, which is when we like. It was a long day of work and stress, high tension and everything. And I finally get home after this. It's late in the night. And, I mean, I didn't even take my, like, nice clothes. We were wearing, like, formal suits.
Yeah.
I just, like, took the jacket off, took shoes off, and I went to bed. And, I sleep on my back. And so finally I wake up in the morning. And, like, the lights are coming through the room. And I can't move, and, like, I had heard of sleep paralysis, but, like, not really looked much into it. I just knew it was, like, you wake up and you can't move. And so, like, I have a full view of my room from my bed, and so in the back left corner, coming, like, because I have, like, that's the entrance to the attic is this back left corner, and kind of sometimes it's, like, open, because it's, like, the lock doesn't work, and so it's slightly open, and there's, like, this, like, black figure manifesting out from the attic. And every time I blink, it's closer every time. And so, like, now I'm trying not to blink. But every time I do, it's just closer and closer until it's, like, sitting at the edge of the bed with me. And it just puts its hand on my chest, and I can feel, like, my breath getting short, and I'm, like, having trouble breathing. And then finally, once I'm, like, out of breath, I wake up, and I'm, like, and I can move again. Like, I can actually, like, it was, like, the one last blink, and everything was normal, and I could move my arms. I, like, went up to, like, pull the arm off. I was, like, what the heck?
Oh, God.
And, you're, like, so tense. But so that's when I, like, did more research about it.
Mm-hmm.
People have the same thing, like a black figure, emaciated lady in white, stuff like that. Like, people see that one guy in their dream, apparently.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Smith had sleep paralysis experience when we were freshmen. I remember he, like, woke me up. He was like, pink, when he like could finally move again because it was coming for him in his sleep in our little dorm room.
That's so funny. That was in the core dorms. Like,
yeah, I was like, oh, you don't know if that was a dream.
Yeah, you don't know. Somebody could have actually been coming for you. But yeah, that's terrifying. So
yeah, but we got plenty more. That could be the bonus episode. We'll get Anderson on here.
Yeah, we need to record a bonus episode for this month for our one executive producer. Join the Patreon to hear more about that. We didn't go too far over. It was only an hour 20. Pretty solid. So do you have any last announcements or last things? Rest in peace, Kobe.
Yeah. We'll sure to make a post about that.
Yeah, for sure.
Found a good tribute video we could use.
For sure. We'll do that. Other than that, go share this link or go listen on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Go do all that. Join the Patreon. Go give us a shout out on Apple Podcasts and do all that good stuff. Let's see. Is there anything else? I don't think so.
Follow the Instagram.
Follow the Instagram for that.
Share it on your story.
Yeah. Oh, and send us your paranormal stories. We'll talk about them.
Hear, feel free to DM our DM us.
DM our personal accounts or the throne room. We want to hear about them, and we'll talk about them on the show, or just any other stories you want us to talk about.
Yeah,
Make sure to do that.
If you're interested in being a guest on the show and you're in the Bryan College Station area, just DM one of us.
Yeah, absolutely. If you know somebody that is starting a small business, we will become your voice.
Your commercial.
Your commercial. We have a decent audience. It's not huge, but we're still starting out basically.
Cult following.
Yeah, it's a small cult following, and basically we want to expand by broadening local businesses in the area. So let us know. There's people that said we should say howdy later. Does that sound?
Yeah, I think we'll end like that.
Just howdy later?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just a nice.
Are we saying it at the same time?
Yeah.
Okay. Howdy later. That was good.